faster than the information speeding down a fiber optic cable, more powerful than an A2 hosting provider able to process thousands of orders within a single...
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah. So this pretty much summed up the stages of pre-order grief this week when Superman 78 went live. But, as a wise butler once said,
why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
My name is Paige, and welcome to the Mez Weekly, episode 7. In this episode, we're just going to cover the news and events from June 8th to the 14th. But really, this is just going to be about the Superman pre-order timeline. I'm going to do some of the takeaways that I have from that experience. I also want to do a quick breakdown of what we're going to be getting with this offering, and also go over some of the things that Mezco has changed or they could possibly change before the release. So on June 10th, there was a tease that went up for Superman, and this wasn't the first time that we saw this. The original tease was first seen in the Toy Fair 2020 product catalog. This was then followed up on the 11th with a single-shot solicitation image that teased the Christopher Reeves head sculpt, giving collectors kind of a sneak peek of what was going to come. So it's June 12th, it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's the official pre-order day for Superman 78, and this is where things took a little bit of a stumble. Now, my pre-order experience will probably differ from other people's, but I wasn't able to get through till probably about the 45 to 50 minute mark. Now, I think this was primarily due to the orders trying to be pushed through all at once, and then as we went along, people started dropping off or just giving up. I'd say it was about an hour to an hour and a half when collectors were able to log on and purchase where the site drops weren't consistently happening. Because there was no way in hell I was going to log in as a guest and miss out on all the rewards points I was going to get. Now I'm bringing this up because I think that there's some takeaways from this from both sides. The first thing that probably needs to be addressed is the website. Now let me start off by saying I am not an IT server analyst or a site manager, but I do believe that the website does need to implement some kind of modifications, whether that be software or hardware-wise, in order to handle the surge that comes with these popular pre-orders. Another idea would be to bring back the queue line system at checkout that they had for previous pre-orders. That being said, I think collectors also have to realize that the site was pretty much going through like a global gangbang within the first 20 minutes that the pre-order opened up. Now, what you may not have realized is while we've been doing this segment, you've actually been watching video footage of a purchase that I was making. And as you can see, in the end result, after going through everything, it comes to a screen where it says payment failed. So like I said before, I was not able to finalize my purchase within 40 to 50 minutes after the launch. I'm telling you this because as of Friday, June 12th at 4:37, Superman is still available for pre-order. And the reason why I mention this is because I believe a lot of collectors have what I like to call PSD, purchase stress disorder. So if you are a veteran of this line, you can recall a time when you only had about 5 minutes when they put a pre-order up. And most of those were kind of unannounced. So you always had to be ready. Thankfully, things have gotten a lot better. And now there's only minor snags. And they've mainly been kind of isolated to payment and then site being bogged down. A majority of these pre-orders that we've had lately have lasted between 12 to 24 hours, and that is nice because it gives people that have things like jobs, kids, lives, the ability to kind of go over the solicitation and decide if they want to actually buy the item. I know personally for me, I don't even look at the pictures. I buy it and then I go back and I look at the pictures because you never know how much time that you have in these pre-orders. So yes, today there was a snag, and yes, it was probably very frustrating for a lot of individuals. I do think that this is an opportunity for Mezco to realize this is an area of improvement. During this pre-order, I saw, heard, and I chatted to a number of people that said that they were just going to give up. And each one of those individuals is not only a potential loss in sales, but they're also a potential loss in a future customer as well. Now, I know I said this before, but it's important to realize that the website was taking a lot of hits initially. And so while I know it's frustrating and stressful not knowing if that purchase is going through, I think we have to keep in mind that Mezco seems to be able to gauge some of the more popular characters and adjust the production counts and pre-order windows accordingly. So remember, just breathe. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's take a quick look at the solicitation for Superman. So the estimated release date for this item is going to be September to November of this year, 2020, but of course that can be subject to change. Price tag for this item is going to be about $125. That does not include taxes or shipping. So you might be asking yourself, what am I going to get for $125? Well, this is what you get. You will receive a Christopher Reeve Superman custom tailored 78 cinematic suit. That was not easy to say. 2 alternating heads, 9 hands, one of them that has the crystal shard holding hand. You'll also get 3 kryptonite crystals that activate the Fortress of Solitude base with the light up feature. And all that's going to be wrapped up in a specialized collector's tin that I assume that we won't see until a reviewer or collector or somebody overseas leaks the images. So just like any release, initial impressions from the community have been kind of all over the board. A majority of the negative feedback focuses on the price and the head sculpt. One of these areas possibly can be addressed, the other probably won't. Pricing for this item is obviously going to be subjective to whoever's buying it. Personally, I feel that it includes a property with a licensed character that has likeness rights. It's on a new body, there's a wired cape, there's a light-up diorama, and it's also enclosed in a specialized tin. And for all of that, I think the price point is pretty fair. The feedback on the head has been a little bit heavy-handed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand someone who doesn't have a lot of disposable income may scrutinize things a little bit closer. But honestly, if one head sculpt out of 2 is a deal breaker for people, then I really don't think that they wanted this set in the first place. Again, I get it, but it seems a little bit common nowadays for people to nitpick 1 or 2 things about a figure or a set and disregard everything else that it has to offer. So I'm not too sure exactly how I feel about the smiling face head sculpt. I actually went back and I watched Superman 1. I highly recommend the Donner cut. And honestly, I think they nailed it. Rest his soul, but Christopher Reeve had kind of a weird smile. I don't know how to really explain it. But I think with the prototype tag that they put on there, they're going to probably work on that as well as the suit for the final version. I can tell you this, there's going to be customizers working on alternate heads, most likely as we speak, designing them up. So anybody that has an issue with one of the heads, I'm pretty sure that there'll be other options to be able to satisfy what they need. Another issue that was updated in real time was noticed by a couple of collectors that the cinematic version of this character was missing the S on the back of the cape. Something that was updated a few hours later. Now, whether the wrong promotional shot was put up or it was digitally altered, possibly because of the initial feedback that was given, it's nice to see those subtle changes done in real time. Now, Mezco has done this before in the past with figures such as the Brown Suit Wolverine, Nightmare Batman, the Ghostbusters with the proton streams that were missing, Iron Fist with the sash, John Wick, and John Wick. And while this is really cool because it not only shows that the company is open to suggestions that they could possibly change within the design, I try to caution a lot of collectors from trying not to do it too much. The grinning head sculpt, for example, while this is set and advertised as a prototype, we don't know what stage of the development process it's in. So keep in mind that sometimes when these changes are being implemented too late, it can push the estimated release date back. It's kind of like that thing where they say, be careful what you wish for. In the end, we all know how the Mezco pre-order circle goes. A character is announced, people don't like it. Somebody takes great pictures or does a video review, and then everybody suddenly wants it. Or 1 or 2 years pass and collectors want it and they can't understand why they've skyrocketed in price. It's a vicious circle, but it's the circle. And that's it. As a fan of the movie and the character, I'm personally looking forward to this piece. Even as I'm wrapping this up on Saturday, June 13th, the item is still up for pre-order, which is a good thing. It gives people a chance to think it over, look at the photos, formulate their own opinions. And we all know some of you guys have to ask your significant other for permission to allocate the funds. So whatever the case may be, just remember, they're toys, just have fun. Wait, really quick. This video obviously took me so long that the item on Sunday, June 14th, is now waitlisted. So I think that might have been a record for an MDX to stay up for more than 2 days. I have to check my research. Hey you. That's right. The person watching this like there's a Marvel end credit scene. I wanted to thank you personally for watching this all the way through. And to show my appreciation, I'm going to give you a free diorama. The one that you see right here. I did a shot with this and I don't really need it. But I don't have the space, so my loss is your gain. But you have to keep it between you and I. Shh. Well, actually, that's not really fair. So people are going to say I'm showing favoritism. Let's do it this way. The first 5 people that type "meat lockers don't float down here Pennywise" will be entered in to win this for free. There is one thing. You have to be in the US. I don't do international shipping. And you will have to pay for shipping. So free diorama, you pay for shipping. I like you, but I don't know you that well. So probably put the contest on Instagram and put it on the toy page and announce the winner that way. I'm just spitballing. So anyway, free contest, free diorama, you pay for shipping. Thanks for watching.